Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to another edition of the Heat This Week. I am your host, Brandon Astle. On this week's show, we recap a road game that occurred on the Heat's recent road trip last weekend. Sven Baertschi is our featured player profile, and Heat rookie Turner Elson takes a crack at rapid fire. You're watching the Heat This Week on SportzCast.TV. The Heat's third game of a five-game road trip was Friday, February 21st against the Milwaukee Admirals. It was the last game of a four-game season series, and the previous three were all very close, with none of them decided in regulation time. Sure enough, the fourth and final meeting was decided in 60 minutes.
Went off the side of the net. Street carrying the puck behind the goal. He drops it off at the near hash marks for Juris. Juris spinning to the bottom of the near circle. He's centered for Street. Puck got to the far post and an easy goal for Sven Baertschi. Liambus ahead on the left wing. Pass behind Tusinya. Knocked down by Arsini. Valentine cuts it off. Right wing Salamaki. Across the Abbotsford blue line. Salamaki to the near hash marks. Backhand to the slot. Shot is blocked by Sissons. Followed and score! Vinny Saponari! Sissons' first chance was blocked and a nice play by the Heat. But Vinny Saponari in the slot cleans up. Neutral, tapped away by Ramage to the left wing. McKelvey from the near circle with a slapper that bounced off Darling for the Heat. Admirals defending it to the left. Right point, Ramage with a slap shot. Darling will gobble it up. Left to right. Arsini then turned it over in the slot. Here's Salamaki shot and a right blocker save made by Olivier Waugh. Tipped it away to the far circle. Ramage hammered by Liambus to serve the penalty. Good hit by Lee for Tusinya, and Banks grabbed Liambus and they start throwing. Banks and Liambus, boy, Banks lost his helmet immediately. They clutch on to one another in the far circle. The helmet of Liambus has been thrown off by Banks, kicked away by Aaron Mills. Liambus with a good over the top right. Another one. Banks comes back with one that doesn't land. Then the second one does, and that spun Liambus to the ice. Fighting Majors at 1936. Stick. Van Gilder will play the puck to the left wing. Celine tipped it ahead. Here's Beck in the slot with a shot. He scores! What a shot from Taylor Beck! He drew some contact from Shane O'Brien as he shot, but a hard wrist shot beating Olivier Waugh over the glove at 3:26 of the second. The Heat line. Watson with Forsberg into the slot. He one-timer and a right pad save. Waugh by Brett Olson. He turned it over in a breakaway. Brett Olson pushed it ahead for Street. He's all alone. Street goes backhander and he scored. It hit the post. Now it goes in. It went off the crossbar. The referee waved it off immediately, but then it hit the backside of Darling and into the net. Middle of the Admirals blue line, still with the puck to the near faceoff dot. A backhander, right pad save Darling. Rebound by Darling. Corbin Knight in the near corner. Trying to get to the net. A backhander to the bottom of the far circle. Darling slides right to left. Spoon for Blair Jones. Jones to the right circle. Granlund centering for Reinhardt. He scores! What a nice passing play made by the Abbotsford Heat. On the right wing to the Milwaukee line. Blair Jones hit hard by Roussel. Corner Forsberg tried to clear it to the blue line. It was off a referee. Set the length of the ice, and we'll get an empty net goal for the Heat with 0.8 of a second left in the game.
There you have it, a big 4-2 win for the Heat, who closed their season series with Milwaukee with 3 wins and 1 loss in a shootout. Time to take a break. On the other side, it's Sven Baertschi who steps into the spotlight in this week's player profile. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Heat This Week on SportzCast.TV. Welcome back to the show. Former first-round pick Sven Baertschi is in his second professional season in the Flames organization. So far this year, he has appeared in 26 games in both a Heat and Flames uniform, and here he is in this week's player profile. Sven, what do you remember exactly about playing hockey at a young age?
Well, for me, it was a great experience. I mean, my dad, he played hockey when he was really young, and then he got me into it, and I just remember the first few steps on the ice. It was was quite a special experience, and I had those skates where I had I think it was I had steels on both sides of my feet, so I was pretty much just walking. I wasn't really skating.
What was it like growing up playing in a country like Switzerland?
Well, it was I feel like there's a lot of hype about hockey there. I mean, there's soccer and hockey. I think those are the biggest sports there, and there's a huge support from the fans, and pretty much in every little town or even just a little village, they all got their own hockey club, and it's just, I feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger. And when I was younger, it was already quite a good size, with the people that come to the game, with the amount of players that play.
Was there a certain Swiss player you grew up idolizing?
You know what, I like them all. I like them all, and but for me, I think the focus was on the NHL. I had, my idols were playing in the NHL at that point.
After playing hockey your whole life in Switzerland until you're up about 17 years old, you were selected to the Portland Winterhawks, 7th overall in the import draft in 2010. Just talk about the decision heading from Europe to the Western Hockey League.
Well, it was tough, making decisions at such a young age. It's not always easy. So you have some support, and there were a lot of people that said that I should have stayed, and other people that were helping me out, and they supported my decision. But for me, it was mainly the family that was the biggest support, and that they helped me out with making that decision. And so I took a chance, and I think it worked out pretty good.
And you had some great numbers and good teams in your 2 years in Portland. Just talk about some of your fondest memories with the Winterhawks.
Well, it was awesome for me to go to the finals twice, and the bad part is that I lost twice. But the second year in Game 7, that was quite a unique experience for me, and it's just a different. I mean, everything is so different because you come from a small country with 7 million people, then you come to the States, and you get to travel so far, and everything by bus, and so it was quite difficult the first year, but then I got used to it, and both years were really good years for the Winterhawks.
So here you are, your second pro season with the Heat. What do you feel has changed in your game this year compared to your rookie season?
I think I'm more mature. I've been working on a lot of things in my game, and especially my defensive game. I feel like it's been getting really good, and that was one of the most important things for me. I mean, I got my offensive instincts, and they take over during the game, but then there were things that I wanted to work on, I needed to work on, and so far it's been getting better. I think I'm getting better as a whole hockey player.
Was there any sort of particular challenges coming from the big ice rink in Europe over here to North America?
It was different, but for me, I felt like it was an advantage because I like to shoot the puck, and I like small area plays. So maybe you don't have as much time, but there's still enough time to make a decision where you're going to go with the puck, and I feel like it's much easier to get to the net on the smaller ice. And in the start, I think I hit the boards a few times. It was because it is quite a difference, but for me, I really prefer the small ice.
And finally, Sven, how fun has it been to be a part of this year's Heat team that's having a lot of success this year?
It's been awesome. I love every day here, and the guys are a great group of guys, and even though it changes here and there. There's guys going up, guys coming down, and but the main part of the team always stays the same, and we're always upbeat, and we have a lot of energy, and we practice well, we play well right now, so there's not much I can complain about.
This has been a Player Profile with
Sven Barchi.
There was a big move on the transaction wire earlier this week. Heat forward Marcus Granlund earned his second recall to the Calgary Flames, and he's having an outstanding year with the Heat, leading the team in both goals and points. Overall, among rookies in the AHL, he also leads everybody in goals with 23. Another move made on Monday was releasing goaltender Aaron Dell. Aaron was signed by the Heat late last week when Yanni Orio was recalled to the Flames, and Aaron actually got into some game action as he appeared in 2 games against the Chicago Wolves and earned his first start on Sunday against those Wolves. With Dell released, that can only mean one thing, and that is Joey McDonald back to full health. The veteran has not played since January 25th, so very good news for the Heat on the goaltending front. Time for our last break of the show. When we return, it's rookie forward Turner Elson stepping up to the plate in another installment of Rapid Fire. Welcome back to the Heat this week. Time to get to know Turner Elson. Earlier this month, he was assigned down to the Alaska Aces, had a good showing with them, and last week was recalled back up to Abbotsford. Here he is in this week's Rapid Fire. All right, Turner, favorite hockey player growing up?
Joe Sakic.
What type of music do you listen to before the game?
Usually rap.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Celebrity crush?
Jennifer Aniston.
Best vacation destination?
Mexico.
Funniest guy on the Abbotsford Heat?
Josh Juris.
Favorite TV show?
Big Bang Theory.
Best prank you've seen pulled in your hockey career?
Somebody going on the ice with all their hockey sticks full of water.
How many alarms do you set in the morning?
2.
Worst nickname you've ever had?
Meat.
All-time favorite restaurant?
McDonald's.
What would you be doing if you weren't a pro hockey player?
Probably Reagan.
Favorite athlete right now in the world of sports?
That's a hard one. Sidney Crosby?
And
Not much.
if you can go out to dinner with any two people in the world, past or present, who would they be?
Obviously Jennifer Aniston and my grandpa.
This has been Rapid Fire with
Turner Elson.
time for our last segment of the show, and we close it out by talking to Heat head coach Troy G. Ward. Well, Troy, you guys finish up your 5-game road trip with a 2-2-1 record. Overall, in your eyes, how did you see the trip playing out for you?
Well, it got off, on a good start in Charlotte there, and then we kind of stubbed our toe, and then we got back on track a little bit against Milwaukee. I thought that we had to come from behind. It was kind of a struggle, but, we had certain players play really well and found our game, and then Chicago, we ended up, we didn't handle ourselves as well as we would have liked there in terms of how we play and how we normally play, but we didn't give up much. We just didn't generate much in the weekend series in Chicago.
During the trip, you endured some injuries, some call-ups, and do you think that might have caught up with you guys, especially in the Chicago series?
I thought it had an impact on the series for sure. I thought we needed to start really well on Saturday to prove to them, regardless of the changes we've had, like we're still a type of team that plays a certain style. We don't give up a lot, but we gave up a goal right away 20-some seconds into the game on Saturday night, and I thought that kind of had an influence on the series for sure. I found us a little bit back on our heels as the weekend went on. Obviously, we had a lot of new bodies, but hey, all other American League teams have the same issues at times. We just had a significant change over the course of the 2-week trip.
Although some guys are still on the IR, a few that were on there for an extended period, and Kane LaFranchise and Joey McDonald are back skating with the team this week at practice. What exactly are their statuses going into this weekend?
Well, they both have went through the last 2 days of practice. Obviously, it's Wednesday now, and we've got one more day in preparation for the weekend. But, I thought they both have handled themselves well. Mike Thompson, our strength coach, stayed back, obviously, over the time when we were gone, and put those guys through a really rigorous training portion of what they have to do on a daily basis to get back to game speed. And I think he did a great job because we were able to let those guys join us yesterday, and they fit right in. Like, it doesn't look like they're that far off and they just need some more reps and some team things. So I thought Mike did a good job, and I thought Joey and Kane handled themselves well. So
you got Marcus Granlund and Yanni Ordio both up in Calgary, and it was just announced earlier today from Bob Hartley that they're both going to make their NHL debut against the LA Kings on Thursday. I guess how fitting is it that those two guys from the same country, attached to the hip, make their same debut in the same game?
Yeah, that is ironic. I mean, the only piece missing is for them both to be in the starting lineup, hopefully that because they are attached to the hip. You make a good point. I think Granlund's success goes to Ordio a lot, and I think Ordio's success goes to Granlund a lot. They're, like you said, two Finnish guys that are playing together, learning the culture, doing things. Orts has been here in the past, been a part of the organization, so I think he's been a great teacher for Granny. But ironically, they're both making their NHL debuts tomorrow against LA, and we're real proud of them.
Marcus has been a big reason for your guys' success with regards to the goal totals. And with 21 games to go, you've already surpassed last season's goal total. And I just want to ask, how nice of a luxury has it been to have the type of guys with skill and talent on a nightly basis being able to put a lot of pucks in the net?
Well, it's been it's been a real pleasant situation for our team and for our coaching staff. I mean, been here now 4 years, and in my 4 years, I don't know if one as assistant. This is my third now as the head. Like, I don't know if we've ever had a situation where we've had this luxury in the 4 years. So that credit goes to our people that sign our players, our scouts, everybody that brings these players to us. Obviously, in pro hockey, we coach what we get, but we've been able to assemble some guys that have some finish to them and they can score some goals. And it's been a nice thing because I think we've always played with decent structure in Abbotsford. I think we've always played fairly hard. And sometimes our timeliness in the goals in the past were tough to come by, so we didn't get rewarded with as many wins as I thought we could have. But this year it's worked out for both sides.
And finally, Troy, you begin an 8-game homestand starting this weekend against a very good team in the Grand Rapids Griffins. Season series tied up at 1-1 through 2 games. Just what exactly can Heat fans expect from the defending champions this weekend?
Well, you make a good point. They're the Calder Cup reigning champs. They've got a really nice team. They've I think had a year similar to other American League teams. Like when they have everybody there, like they're a really dangerous team. But obviously Detroit has had to manage through some significant injuries this year, and because of that, their staff in the NHL, Mike and his staff up in Detroit, have brought a lot of players up, and those guys have been great. Like anytime you read or watch a game live with the Detroit playing, they always talk about the success of the kids. And so I think their staff in Grand Rapids has done a good job of managing through a tough year with a lot of changes. And I don't know who's all going to be here tomorrow when they arrive and what type of team they'll put on. I just know that they're going to be very good. They're going to be defending champs, and they're going to manage the puck very well, and they've got a lot of skill. So, we'll have to be at our best, and we understood that when we were in Grand Rapids. So they're a real pleasure to play against because they make you compete and they make you play a 200-foot game, which is exciting.
Thanks a lot for this, Troy. Appreciate the time.
You're welcome.
That's it for this week's show. The Heat begin an 8-game homestand on Friday and Saturday night against the defending champion Grand Rapids Griffins, and we will be back next week to break it all down. Thanks for watching. Until next week, you're up to date with the Abbotsford Heat. See you at the rink.